All right, the dust is kind of settled on Tyson versus Paul. Woke up in the wee hours to watch this fight. Now, I don't want to labour the point about this fight much longer. I want to kind of try and move on as best we can from it. But when you read quotes like this, Jake Paul confirmed that he decided not to KO Mike Tyson during their fight. I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt. When you go and look at this fight, and I wouldn't recommend if you haven't already looked at it, I wouldn't recommend you do. But this fight was an absolute joke. It was a travesty. And I think in do I want to say, because in terms of Mike Tyson's legacy, in my opinion, it's not going to damage it in the slightest. He's a nearly 60-year-old man. It's not going to damage it in that. But I want to almost say in terms of the integrity of the sport, I did worry that if Jake Paul went in there and knocked out Mike Tyson, say knocked him out bad, would it damage boxing in terms of the integrity of it? And I thought it would. But seeing what we've seen in there, even though there was no knockout, and even though Jake Paul is saying there he did his best not to hurt him, does that not damage it as well? The fact that it's the year 2024, in the state of Texas, a man like Mike Tyson, damn near 60 years old, okay, he looked in better shape than your average 58-year-old man, but he basically had one leg. He seemed to... Again, you got to remember, the first round was fought at a very low pace. It was only 2 minutes, 120 seconds, and he was done. His legs were all over the place in terms of he had no poise, he had no balance in them, he was knackered, and this is a guy who a year ago was in a wheelchair. Again, he's pushing 60, and this fight was meant to happen in the summer, but it got pushed back, and the commentary team who were there didn't have any problem saying it was about because of health reasons. And even still, knowing all that, what I just said there, he's still licensed to fight. And not only that, furthermore, he hasn't ruled out fighting again. Now, I hope he was being, a little bit sarcastic in the immediate aftermath, saying, I'll fight your brother. I did a live on this, and one of my subscribers left me a good idea in the comment section, actually, which I'll talk about now in a separate video, maybe tomorrow. But the fact that he can even consider that, it's just a joke. It's absolutely... it's crazy. This was, and I laughed because when you watch the fight, the fans were booing during the fight because it was dull, nothing was happening. Yeah, again, what do you expect? You're talking about a man in Mike Tyson who was way old enough to be Jake Paul's father, not old enough to be his grandfather, but old enough to be his father, and nearly 60. What did you expect was going to happen? And if you got any decency about you, like, what really did you expect Jake Paul to do? You have an old man there, a man who clearly has one leg or no legs to work with altogether, and you have, God knows, I think they said this was the second highest attendance in that stadium, with Billy Joe and Canelo being the number one. What did those people expect was going to happen? In many ways, although Mike Tyson came out of this fight, thank God, unscathed, this is a black guy on the sport, I think. The fact that we have such an absolute S show like this on, thank God it wasn't on pay-per-view. But everything, all the production, all the trailers, all the work, everything they put into this fight. Now, apparently the undercard fighters are well paid, which is, if there's one saving grace, that's the good thing. You people like Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano are very well paid, so that's a saving grace. But apart from that, this was an absolute joke. And the worst part is that apparently this is done pretty good, and I'd say they've probably made some good money in revenue. The revenue they got in from this fight. This might be something that they look to do again, which again is an absolute disgrace. Not the fight itself, but just a similar kind of event. I hope we never, ever, ever, ever see anything remotely even close to this again. This was an absolute disgrace, and I think it's only when you see it in the light of day, because my reaction, as I always say, is immediate. I do it literally then and there after the fight's ended, and if it's a decision, I wait for the decision to be announced, etc. But it's always immediate. This, with a bit of reflection, having gone back and had a look through I wasn't going to watch the whole fight again, hell no, but having a look through, brief parts of it, this was every bit as farcical as I thought it would be. In fact, actually, it exceeded my expectations. It was even worse. I just hope to God, and I do this video for this reason, in the hope that, if I know Jake Paul's not going to watch it, nor Mike Tyson, but someone who can actually, have a say in events like this moving forward, that they should never, ever do a show like this ever again. And just as I said, thank God Mike Tyson wasn't hurting there. The man was nearly 60. He didn't have his legs about him. And if Jake Paul wanted to, and there's no doubt in my mind, having seen it, if Jake Paul actually went in there and just decided, you know what, I want to knock this guy out and I want to leave my mark on it, he could have done it like that. No questions asked. He could have gone in there, sat on his punches, and he could have knocked Mike Tyson out like that. And thank God he didn't, because Mike Tyson at 60, taking punishment, taking shots to the head, getting potentially knocked out, having his brain, because, you know, when a knockout, you know, the brain does kind of jolt. God knows what kind of damage that would do to a 60-year-old man. I mean, it damages people in their 20s, much less someone in their 60s. So thank God none of that happened. But this whole show was an absolute disgrace. And no one is going to convince me otherwise. Oh yeah, but you know, technically, you know, it got some kind of, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, that's a damning indictment on the sport of boxing. If people are going to use the argument, well, it got fans involved. Listen, where are we as a sport if a YouTuber, which is what Jake Paul really is, an influencer, fighting a 60-year-old man who's not too far off being classified as a senior, if that is what it takes to get people talking about boxing, then it doesn't matter what Turkey Al-Sheikh is doing, it doesn't matter what the Saudis are trying to do, it doesn't matter what Hearn Warren and all the others are doing. We are failing. If that's what it takes to get people interested in boxing, we are failing, and we need to do better. But we need to make sure this never happens again. No way. I still can't believe that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson actually happened. You know, when they announced it, I was just like, I guess when they announced it, I never believed it would happen. And as we got closer to it, it seemed apparent that it would. But I guess I always figured that it would be bad. But I didn't think it would be this bad. Honestly, I just didn't think it would be this bad. I just never let this happen again. Mike Tyson, he's talking about having another fight. And I'll do a separate video on it. If he is persistent about having another fight in the sport of boxing, God knows why he'd want to, but if he did, there's only one person I'd want to see him in there with that would actually, you know, pique or perk my interest. John Fury. John Fury's sitting here, is 59, Mike Tyson's 58. Former fighters. Both are in, well, John Fury doesn't look in particularly good shape, and he's the fighting man. He's the best 50-year-old in the world. That's all we want to see then. Going for that. A little seniors league. Give him 16, 18 ounce gloves. 2-minute rounds, 6 rounds, maybe. But Mike Tyson in there against someone, you just, no. Thank God he didn't get hurt is all I can say about this fight. That's the only saving grace. The only saving grace, Mike Tyson didn't get hurt and the undercard fighters got very well paid. I like seeing fighters get paid irrespective of where, you know, they are in terms of their respective career, whether they're male, female. I like seeing them get paid. That's the only saving grace about this card. The rest of it, the main event, absolute joke. Absolute flipping joke. And someone commented on my post-fight video and said that the slap was a little bit dubious at the weigh-in, to say the least. But that seemed like the only legit punch in this fight. And it was at the weigh-in. Jesus Christ. So that's the situation. Just wanted to get it off my chest. Last video I'll do on Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. I'll talk about this on Review of the Week, because obviously that's a review of everything, so it will make an appearance there. But in terms of dedicated videos, no, we ain't gonna talk about this. No way. I'll leave it there. Let me know your comments, or let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't. We've had again, another saving grace. We've done pretty well in terms of subscribers. You know, nearly 100 subs in a day. I'll take that. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace.